These are the Under Armour Shadow Elite 2.0, a boot packed with technology, including a carbon fiber sole plate, and one of the most locked-in sensations on feet. More on that later. Today, I'm going to be going through an entire unboxing experience of these beautiful gold football boots. We'll be running through all of the tech features, of course, and I'll be trying it on to show you guys sizing and what they feel like on feet. Let's hop into it. Now, the Shadow Elite 2.0 is a boot that I actually really enjoy wearing. The original launch colorway is in that blue and sort of volt green colorway. Box is very standard, of course. You've got the Under Armour logoing. There's your size chart as well. So these are a 9 US, and you've got the UK 8, Euro 42.5, and the 27 centimeters. True to size on the Under Armour Shadow Elite 2.0 FG fits me perfectly out of the box from a size perspective, and then it takes obviously a little bit of time to break in. Here we go. Oh yeah, very nice. Okay, so now I understand what people were saying, because I think in the media blasts about these, Under Armour made it look like this was gold, which this is, but then they made the knit look white. And so it was like a white, this like gorgeous white and gold boot. This is like a kind of an off-white or like a, I don't know, almond type, kind of light brown, I guess, with the gold, which I think actually looks pretty clean. We'll see how they fit on feet, or see how they look on feet, but yeah, I don't actually mind this colorway at all. I think these look pretty decent. I think it would have been better with the white, but goodness gracious. Yeah, very, very cool looking football boots in my opinion, and packed with tech, which is obviously something that we're all here for as boot nerds. There's that right shoe, and there's a little sticker with an arrow on it. I'm not sure what that's about. Okay, nothing else in the box, unfortunately. No string bag, but we will go from there, and there is the boots as well. So a quick rundown of the Under Armour Shadow Elite 2.0. This, of course, is the second generation. I've reviewed and done play tests and 1 month reviews on the original Shadow, which was like a 2-layer upper, very, very, very responsive, but it wasn't as comfortable as this new generation, which has a bunch of exposed Intelliknit, which is, of course, the base of this football boot. So it's a Intelliknit upper with exo mesh on the outside in particular areas. So you can see this sort of mesh material, sort of grid-like pattern that they've called exomesh that they've put here on the lateral and the medial side of the midfoot. And basically what that does is that sort of locks, as you tie the laces tight, it really does lock your foot into the midfoot, which is fantastic. No slippage this direction at all, which is really, really nice from a boot that you kind of expect it, because they market this as an agility boot as well. This is, of course, the zonal stretch knit. So they do the Intelliknit, they have done in multiple different directions. So you can kind of see these little crease points where they have the little bit of a darker gold or brown colorway. It goes in different directions across the upper, you know, this way on the forefoot, that way on the medial side. I gotta admit, I don't really notice like the zonal stretching that much. Does it feel really nice on feet? Yes. Does it have quite a plush and really, really comfortable toe box area that's a little bit higher volume to give you some more wiggle room? Yes, which I also really enjoy. But as far as the zonal stretch areas, you don't feel it a ton, and maybe that's by design. Maybe if they were to do the same model but with the same kind of pattern throughout the whole thing, I'd then notice the difference between the two. But similar to, let's say, a stitching pattern on a Mizuno Morelia 2 made in Japan, one is a cross-stitch model, which I've got here, and then the other is a blue model that is on the floor, which is a different stretch model. Or stitch model. You don't really feel the difference between those sort of zones that they've stitched together until you've broken it in a bunch and you're wearing it all the time. So I don't know. Marketing, yes. Looks really cool, but from like a practical perspective, it doesn't really do much from a performance perspective, outside of being one of, in my opinion, the best knits on the market. The Intelliknit is actually really comfortable. It wraps your foot really nicely, and it does a great job of feeling like a sock. I've got no issues around the ankle area. You've got a nice suede heel liner here as well, which has an adequate amount of padding. It's one thing that that'll be coming in the 1 month review. This is one thing that really they've done. I think Under Armour have done a good job with the heel area as well. And then you get a very plush insole as well. As you can see, it's quite a large or high volume heel cup, which has a bunch of padding. This foam material is very, very substantial, does give you a really nice little arch here as well, which doesn't have a lot of, it's not necessarily a supportive arch, but it does get that feeling that when it comes right up to the underside of your arch, feels really nice on feet. So you've got a nice wrap sensation both from the upper and from the removable sock liner, which of course is great because that's basically all of the touch points that your foot is going to feel during the course of play. Really nice heel lockdown as well. You've got these really interesting rubber elements here on the upper. I don't think it does anything substantial other than potentially give the lace loops a lot more durability, because if you had them just inside the knit, the exposed knit, you might get a little bit of ripping or tearing, but I think the addition of these, you're not going to feel these much while you're striking the ball or touching the ball, even when you're juggling. Maybe a little bit of pinginess while you're juggling, or if you were a goalkeeper and you were going to punt the ball really far, maybe you'd feel it as you struck the ball right on the laces. But overall, I don't really notice these rubber elements that much, other than it just being a durability factor as well. And then you have, of course, the kind of the main feature of this boot is their full carbon fiber sole plate, which is fantastic. It's not as responsive as I think you'd expect it to be, but honestly, it looks fantastic and it feels really nice on feet. It has quite a bit of responsiveness and structure through the midfoot here, and then you've got a bit of snapback, more so than I would say most non-carbon stud patterns do. The only stud pattern that I would say has remarkably more snapback than this is potentially the Vapor, and then obviously the new Puma Ultra Carbon, which has significantly more snapback than this, but that's also because theirs is like a different weave pattern and they're made in conjunction with F1, and so it's like super high tech and stuff. These guys have also done a little bit of work with some engineers as well, and I would say I really like the stud pattern. Some of the stud configuration is a little annoying. I wish they would go for something a little bit more conical, but on FG surfaces, this particular stud pattern fits and feels fantastic on feet. When it's raining out, no issues at all. When it's not raining and you're on an FG pitches, it feels great as well, especially on a surface that's a little bit more plush. And then on AG, it's fine. It's a little bit too aggressive for my taste on AG, but you could get away with it if you want. And then I am pretty sure that they are going to be implementing an AG model at some point as well, which in my opinion will make this one of the better, more kind of, how would you say, dedicated agility and lockdown boots. Like these lock your foot in better than most boots on the market. I would say these are top 3 as far as the most secure and locked in fit you can get. And they really are a boot that I've enjoyed wearing. Here in the midfoot, I do have to spend a couple hours of break-in time, but that's fairly normal. Once this exo mesh breaks in a little bit and the upper feels a little bit more kind of cohesive around my foot, these boots perform excellently well. Zero issues with the touch, control. This kind of coating on the upper feels really nice and gives you a nice plush touch on the ball. The forefoot is really the area where I was most surprised, because I like the structure through the midfoot on both lateral and medial sides. I like the all knit construction. IntelliKnit is really nice, but this forefoot really blew me away when I first tried these because of how plush and how soft it feels. It's quite thin, but it gives you that nice kind of one-to-one knit sensation when you're dribbling and when you're passing and shooting the ball or juggling the ball with this area of the foot, just because of the way it's constructed. So it's a very interesting feeling. It's like you get this super locked in and tight sensation, but then you have sort of the freedom to wiggle your toes a little bit, and it really does give you a fantastic feeling on ball, and I really have enjoyed wearing these quite a bit. Now, Whether the 1 month review has come out or not already as of the filming of this video, I don't know yet, but that will be out very soon. And so you'll see more of my longer term thoughts about the original launch colorway, but we probably will be doing a play test on these ones as well. We'll see. I just really like the colorway. I think the colorway that they did of these ones is really, really cool. That of course was a player only edition, so we don't actually get that as the general public, but these gold ones look sick in my opinion. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what else they come out with soon. And yeah, without further ado guys, let's hop into the on feet portion of the video and I'll show you a little bit why I think these boots are unique and why, you know, touch, sizing, all that stuff, will go through that, but why I think these boots are a little bit underrated and why I think more people should try them out. Let's hop into it. All right, fam, out here in the backyard, of course, with the gold, relatively brand new, Shadow Elite 2.0. Now, I am very excited to try these on. I think they look extra better out in the sunlight, and my oh my, there you go. I do think this is one of the best looking sole plates on the market. I think they look aggressive, even if they're not necessarily the most like excellent. I have heard people kind of complain about the stability of this sole plate given that it's carbon. So as you can see, it does bend quite a bit. That is one thing that I don't really mind, but I know a lot of people complain about it and say like, why would you put carbon if it's, you know, not as responsive as a TPU or a Puma sole plate as well. There we go. All right, so these fit exactly the same as you would expect as the original launch colorway, and so that means really, really lovely forefoot area, pretty tight and aggressive midfoot, which will start to probably pinch my feet in just a second, but that is to be expected. I have broken in my other pair so that they fit really nicely now. The lacing system area I actually really like, because if you see the lacing system actually goes back quite a bit. And I just think they do a really nice job sort of in all different areas of making sure that all the material is right there. I mean, keep in mind this boot is designed for lockdown and performance, and my oh my, do they feel that way. Now, with how flexible the sole plate is, as you can see, the upper is quite flexible on my toes. If this sole plate was as aggressive as the new Puma carbon, Ultra 5 carbon, if you want to be exact, I think this boot would be just absolutely outrageously responsive. But this sole plate is definitely not as responsive as that. And I think there are other sole plates that are more responsive than this that aren't carbon. And so that's sort of one of those things, like maybe it's an aesthetic thing. Maybe it's just the way that Under Armour is going with the direction of the sole plate, which is fine. I mean, I don't really mind it. I've enjoyed playing in my launch color pair, and so for me, it's like it's not that big of a deal. Do I wish it was more responsive? Yeah, definitely. Do I wish they had conical studs? Yeah, definitely. But at the end of the day, I've actually really enjoyed wearing these on FG pitches quite a bit down here in Australia, and I would say that these gold pair are going to be no different because they look freaking awesome. So there you go. Lovely fit and feel, definitely pinching a little bit here on the side, but it doesn't hurt. It's just more of like a really, maybe like a how would you say? Like a overzealous relative giving you a hug. It's like, okay, that's enough. That's how I would describe it. The heel area on these, I would say, is almost perfect. I really like the way this heel fits. They fit my heel really well. In testing of the launch colorway, this one thing that I think Under Armour has absolutely nailed with this heel area is the extra padding that doesn't have like a strip. It's just the entirety of this heel is just a nice padded material. And so as you tie the laces tight and as the Intelliknit is able to wrap your foot, it does such a nice job getting your heels back into the back of the boot. And so in my opinion, and in the testing that I've done, this heel fits, I would say Asics is top dog no matter what from a heel area perspective. The GX2 fits and Luna 2 by proxy, because it's the same boot, fits my heel basically perfectly. These are a very close second to the GX2. As I said, Asics is in their own category. They make perfect heel areas. There's nothing wrong with them ever. These boots are very close to GX2 from the heel area perspective, and that is super cool because I think heel area makes such a big difference in the way that a boot performs, especially in a boot that advertises such incredible lockdown. Stud pattern feels definitely a bit aggressive. It does on this particular surface that's, you know, not a playing surface, it's just my backyard. It does feel, by the way, full look. Gold looks kind of dope, I would say. I'm definitely going to rock these in a game at some point in the next couple weeks. Or maybe 2 months from now when I get back from America, which, by the way, I'm going to America. How fun. What was I saying? The stud pattern does feel a little bit like you're on skates. I think the heel stud right here is kind of awkward, I would say. And as we can see, this one right here, little bit awkward. So when you're taking a step like this, it does feel a little bit like I'm sort of on skates, but that's sort of, it's one of those things that this is technically an FG boot, so they don't really recommend you play on AG with it. So at the end of the day, it's like, well, it's your fault for wearing them on AG if you do. I do, and I'm fine with it. So whatever, that's my own fault. But as I said, I would probably recommend wearing these on FG, and then cross my fingers. I'm going to be talking to Under Armour people hopefully in the next couple weeks. And I'm going to be like, please, please, please either make a dedicated AG boot or make these with FG, because I think, or make these with conical studs. Because I think if you made this particular model with a conical stud pattern and the carbon, it would crush. I think people would absolutely go crazy for it. Touch on the ball is awesome. I like either, you know, if I'm like this and I'm kind of hitting it as if I were to do the laces, the Intellinet feels awesome. And then if I move to the toe box area, lovely. It's so soft. I don't know what they've done with the Intellinet and the coating on the toe box area, but it just feels really, really nice to manipulate the ball. That's one thing that I just really like about these boots, is that they feel great on the ball. I feel like I can ping really nicely. I feel like I have really easy touches on the ball. There's no grip elements or anything. This coating on the Intellinet here in the forefoot is totally shiny, so, and it doesn't get, there's no like waxy sensation. It's totally slippery. So you're not going to get like a grip element or anything, but I do think that this boot doesn't really need that, because I think it really just is that like super fast, super aggressive, very responsive feeling. You feel super locked into the sole plate. Again, even though the sole plate isn't as maybe snappy as I'd want it to be, it still works really well, and I really enjoy playing in these. The launch colorway that's in the garage, actually, I've beaten to crap now, and they are super fun to wear. So I am really excited to break these in, and we'll see how we go. So I don't know if I'll do a playtest in these, particularly because I already did a playtest in the other colorway, but you'll definitely see content on Instagram. So if you guys haven't followed me on Instagram, at noah.cavanaugh, you guys can find all of the latest and greatest boots that I do. I do like shorts and like unboxing shorts and photos and play test shorts and all that stuff. So you can find more content there. So that's gonna wrap up my review of the Under Armour Shadow Elite 2.0 in this really cool kind of off-white and gold colorway. Let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think of these boots. Here's one more look at them. I think they look pretty spectacular. As I said in the unboxing, I was kind of hoping it was going to be gold and white. But that being said, I actually don't mind the sort of almond color, like off-white brown color. I don't mind it with the gold. I think it looks pretty good, and it's pretty funky colorway. So that's going to be it for the video, guys. Leave your comments down below if you have any other questions about this particular model. Definitely go pick them up if you are interested in a pair of boots that's going to fit really snug, really comfortable, and super locked in as well. And the description box will also have the link for 20% off of all of WeFoot grip socks. So anything, basically you get 20% off your whole order, which is a huge deal for grip socks that actually last a long time. As always, be awesome. Take care. I'll see you guys in the next video.